Let's talk more about that. Our chief foreign editor, Rob Parsons, is joining us now on the programme. Rob, what is causing these protests, do you think, and why are they being caused now as well?
Well, I think there are a number of factors which seem to be involved in this, Stuart. One of them, of course, is the sanctions imposed by the United States under Donald Trump, which have been left in place, it has to be said, by Joe Biden. Some 200 or so new sanctions which have been crippling the Cuban economy, which is not in a great place anyway. That's affecting ordinary people. It's affecting the ability of the government to raise money. And also, it has to be said, it's affecting the ability of another country which is under sanctions, Venezuela, to export oil, which is also impacting on Cuba. But in addition to that, one of the biggest factors is COVID-19 and what people perceive to be the rather inefficient efforts of the government to deal with the problem, a vaccination program which is not terribly effective, not very widespread, but also the restrictions on civil liberties in a country where civil liberties were already severely restricted has made life very tough for ordinary people. And in addition to that, there are other problems. Like this year, the sugar crop seems to have failed. There's not enough money coming into the coffers. And tourism, one of the mainstays of the Cuban economy, has been hit catastrophically badly by the coronavirus. There isn't the hard currency coming in that normally there would be, and as a consequence of that, we're seeing the sort of problems that we're seeing on the streets today.
Rob, how much of a threat do you think these protests pose to the communist regime? I mean, is Fidel Castro's legacy even under threat here?
Well, I think people must be beginning to wonder that. One of the interesting things about these demonstrations is they're not taking place just in Havana, but across the country. If you look at the map, you can see they're taking place. They started in the southwest of Cuba, but they've spread to towns elsewhere. Some just small villages apparently have been having protests as well. These aren't huge demonstrations by and large, although there have been thousands in some cases in places like Havana. But the fact that they're so widespread, I think, is important. And the big difference, say now, between what happened in 1994, when the last time there was a big demonstration, is 1994, there was no social media. The demonstration was in Havana. People elsewhere in the country didn't even know about it. Now, small demonstrations are taking place all over the country, and the images are being uploaded on social media, which is why today, over the last 24 hours, the government has been cracking down on the internet. But the important thing here, I think, is that the fear factor, which has been so important in the past, is being undermined by that. Also undermined by the fact that the Castros have gone. The new man, Miguel Diaz-Canel, does not have the charisma of the Castros. People are saying, this is enough. No more suffering. It's a theme that's been picked up, in a rap song which has become enormously popular with young Cubans and being sung on these demonstrations. So that, I think, is the key factor that could be important for the future of the regime in Cuba. The loss of fear, the fact that people are prepared to come out on the streets now, regardless of the fact that the police, as we saw at the beginning, are making these arrests. That's something that's significant, that's changed.
Rob, thanks very much. Rob Parsons, our chief foreign editor on France 24.